Ntate Cliffton Mmako. Okay, Ntate.
I'm good, and you?
No, I'm very well, thank you. I'm honored to officially have you here. I think this is, I guess we could arguably say, been long in the making. From the first day we met, your story mesmerized me immensely, and I was like, but these are the conversations I want to have. I was like, you must come through. You're like, hey. I'm not coming there. Now I'm happy that over time you've softened up a little bit, you know, to a point where you're willing to come and share your story and your wisdom, your immense wisdom and your experience, not just with me, but with the rest of whoever's going to be watching this. Are you good otherwise?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm good. Business, family is good.
Business okay, family is okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, thank you. If we can start from the beginning, your background and your education, just to share. Where's home? Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? Okay. How did you get to the big bad city of Jozi?
Okay, home is in Limpopo, in Sebedela, and in a village called Gamulapo.
Gamulapo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born there, did my matric there. Yes. And yeah, later moved to Joburg, like any other person that is looking for opportunities.
Okay.
Yes.
Normal household, mom, dad, the same typical South African story.
Yeah. Look, mom still alive, dad passed on.
Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
But yeah, life goes on.
In terms of upbringing, your upbringing was normal.
Yeah, look, it's in the rural area.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
Nothing?
There was nothing. You just have to grow up like, any other kids. But there's not much going on there. I mean, I started working when I was in grade 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing what?
Selling cosmetics.
Okay.
You know.
So you started hustling early?
Yeah, I started hustling early. Yeah. And look, it was interesting.
Circumstance?
Yeah, you were forced to go and work because of if you don't go and work again, you know, you will end up not having shoes, school uniform, and all those things. But yeah.
Limpopo normally makes the headlines every year for amazing matric results. It looks like the schools there, some of them are doing something right. Do you have any view of why some of the schools in Limpopo are so brilliant academically and why some of our best minds in the country come from Limpopo?
Yeah, I think dedication from teachers, you know, and maybe, when Pastor Limpopo, they love education.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
including yourself?
Yeah, a lot, you know.
You did well at school?
I didn't do well. I was not the A student.
Sure.
You know, I was the E student.
E?
Yes. I mean, I'll be position 50 at that time. I'll be position 50, yeah. But remember, that didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yes. I just have to find a gap.
We've got a lot of tribalism in South Africa. Not really sure how we're going to resolve it over time. And a big part of the tribalism comes from the majority tribe, even though apparently that's an incorrect word or an inappropriate word. Zulus and people from Limpopo, especially when they're like, Mashangane. You know, when you look at TV shows like Omubango, where Zulus will be like, I don't watch Mashangane, what. I'm asking an unfair question from you. The people of Limpopo, maybe in particular Amavenda and the Xitsonga people, more than the Pedis, because the Pedis are more Sotho, Tswana, they would maybe blend easier to whatever Zulus believe is South African. But the Venda Xitsonga people sound different, and a lot of tribalism stems from the being different. Do you have any views on that? On the tribalism, why we have it? And maybe also why Vendas and Xitsonga people are distinctly different, even linguistically, to the rest of Nguni and maybe Sotho languages?
Well, maybe because some of the people that they didn't spend time with those ethnic groups, it's hard for them to understand, to blend with the language. Yeah. And obviously the attitude grows from there.
Yeah.
But I mean, like with me, I don't have a problem with any tribe or anything. No.
Sure.
You know, I speak Zulu fluently.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
Yeah. So for me, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe, it's just the attitude, sometimes of few people that maybe can say things that they're not supposed to say about Zulus or about vendors or about Jangan.
Yeah.
But and unfortunately, we shouldn't promote such things,
I asked this also with the background of, or the backdrop of education. Outside of tribalism, South Africans are very xenophobic, specifically to people from Zimbabwe. Not so much people from Lesotho, because again, they sort of look South African. Not so much people from Botswana, Namibia, Eswatini, because they maybe look South African. But you find the Zimbabweans. And Nakhona, it's not so much the Ndebeles, more the Shonas with language. We have this xenophobia. Zimbabweans are also very big on education, like people from Limpopo. And a lot of them migrate to South Africa for better opportunities. In the same way, a lot of people from Limpopo migrate here for better opportunities. Where is the missing link? Why is Zimbabwe, with its great education, very intelligent people, a lot of Zimbabweans are highly intelligent, struggling to solve their problems? And then you find an almost similar situation with parts of Limpopo, which you and I argued off camera. Depending on which report you read, the Eastern Cape will be the poorest province in the country. For some people, they'll say it's Limpopo. But then you meet these kids, especially if you come study in Joburg at the WITS, at the UJ, in other places. Kids from Limpopo are highly, highly intelligent. What do you think the disconnect might be with these highly intelligent people, but then wherever they come from, there's extreme poverty?
Remember, education alone is not enough.
Yeah,
you need a lot of hard work. And then you need to be humble. So I'll start with the people from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
They might be too educated, they might be too good. But again, they need to plow back into their communities as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to help to have a lot of guys from Zimbabwe that are sitting here and they don't want to go back home. Who's going to improve Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Same applies to guys from Limpopo. I mean, a lot of them are building beautiful houses there.
Correct. We've seen them.
Yes.
We're all envious of those homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because of, it's home, Eastern Cape, a lot of guys that are successful in Joburg, they don't want to go back home.
That is true.
I mean, how do you go back to your home after 12 months? But obviously they've got their own reasons.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not willing to take care of your home, and your community back at home, then it's a problem.
So a lot of people from Limpopo are building stunning mansions. We've seen them.
Well, they've got both, even here. It's just that they don't make noise.
Sure. I asked that, are enough people from, maybe let's not speak about Zimbabwe, are enough people from Limpopo going home to build industry outside of just building homes?
No.
And do you have any idea why? Is it something we're just not taught?
Remember, all these provinces, they've got their own strength. There are things that Limpopo is good at.
Yeah.
I mean, most of, I'll give you an example. Most of oranges that we eat,
sure,
they come from Limpopo.
Limpopo is very, very rich in fruits and the like.
Area.
Yeah.
They also send them abroad.
Yeah.
So each and every province, it has got its own strength.
Sure.
But remember, coming with that strength, it has got the after effects. You can say Rustenburg is rich in mining, but remember, in the next coming 50 years, there's nothing you're going to do with Rustenburg. It will just be holes all over, even if you rehabilitate.
You reckon the Rustenburg economy is going to have nothing in 50 years' time?
Well, there's a lot of towns that are becoming ghost towns now because of there are no mining activities.
Is it a white people thing?
I cannot say it's a white people thing. I'm just saying, we might say Limpopo, people are not going back home to build industries.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Limpopo is rich in game.
But who owns the game?
No, it's mixed.
Okay.
Remember, there's a lot of black people that are billionaires, but they don't want to be known. There's a lot of people that have done well.
Yeah.
Yes. and they're comfortable where they are.
And they're quiet.
Yes, it's not just about whites.
But why are they not building industry for the rest of the people?
But okay, they are building here in Joburg.
Not back home.
No. Remember, sometimes, the infrastructure as well. It's a big challenge. I mean, if you build something that eventually needs to go to Durban, to the port, what will be the cost? From Limpopo, from Musina to the harbour.
Sure.
Yes. But maybe if we had a harbour in Limpopo, it would be a different story.
I'm trying to think of how to respond to you without...
So each and every province, it has got this
let me take a step back.
Yeah.
So the Eastern Cape and Limpopo are two of the poorest provinces in the country. And you might find... Sorry. You might find people from KZN, black people in particular, KZN, Free State, Gauteng, maybe even laughing. Yeah, but you come from a poor province. When you strip away the industries and the white people that run parts of the economy of KZN, Gauteng, the Free State, etc., you find that the black people, like for like, are almost arguably the same. It's one of the arguments that one of my guests, Urutendo Matinyarara, has raised before, that black South Africans think they're rich, but it's because of the white people that run the economy here. If you take that away, you might find that black South Africans are maybe poorer than the rest of their African counterparts. So when you speak about Groblersdal, when you speak about ZZ2 and the Van Zyl family in Limpopo, when you speak about KZN and the harbors, and those are not black dominated businesses. So that's the first part. And when I was asking if it's a white issue, the question was going to be, is it because Zimbabwe doesn't have the type of whites or the type of whites allowed to build infrastructure as South Africa? Same with an Eastern Cape versus a Gauteng or a Western Cape. When you speak about infrastructure from a Musina to a Durban, Musina maybe to a OR Tambo to move stuff abroad, the reality is there are people that are successful in these provinces that also have the same infrastructure thing. And if black people are able to build beautiful homes, why can they not build infrastructure for economy with the same limitations?
Yeah, well, look, those provinces are not busy provinces when it comes to business.
But I think someone has to invest in them, specifically the people that have come to dig for gold here, to go back home and make them busy.
Yeah, look, they do other things, smaller things, But remember, you cannot move a big industry from the city to a rural province. I'll give you an example. A lot of companies in the northwest, they've got refineries, but they're sitting in Gauteng.
Okay. I hear you.
For various reasons.
Yeah.
So there are certain industries that you cannot just decide that I'm going to build, let's say, Lever Brothers in Limpopo. Sure. There's just too many things that are involved there.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, the type of electricity that those guys are using.
Yeah.
It's too much. But I think over time, things will get better.
Do you really believe so?
Look, it's up to us.
No, of course.
Yes, it's up to us to try and do something.
And the question is, why is it not being done? Or is it being done and we just don't know?
Look, I think maybe we're in a hurry.
Okay.
Yes. Because, building a province, it's difficult.
I can imagine.
And remember, you cannot do that if government is not involved.
Sure, that is correct.
Because at the end of the day, whatever that you're doing, it will belong to the government. You'll have to work hand in glove with the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's in some areas it's just too risky. It's just too risky. It's just too risky.
It sounds to me like you're making excuses, but I'll let it go.
Okay.
We can go back to your story.
No. It's not an excuse. It's an excuse because if you've never been, let's say, in the manufacturing space,
Yes.
Things are easy
Sure.
from a distance,
Sure.
And that's why it will be impossible for you not to understand why can't we have X, Y, Z in certain provinces,
Yeah.
But if you've got the money, there's just also two other things to talk about. Skills,
Yes.
I mean, if you open a big plant, let's say in Limpopo,
Yes.
You might struggle to get certain types of skills
Mm.
because everybody wants to come to Joburg.
Yes.
It's like me in a textile game.
Mm.
If I open a factory in Springs or Nigel,
Yes.
I might not get people who are interested to come and work for me.
Can you not get those people to come in?
It's difficult. To get skilled people, it's not easy.
Okay. I'm trying to not counter everything you're saying.
Yeah,
but I've got counters for everything you're saying.
That's fine.
Sure.
That's your job to have counters. That's
Sure.
all what you do. So there's nothing wrong.
Sure.
But remember, to get skills, to get qualified people, it's a mission.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. Just in my setup to get somebody to try and fix machines.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get that person.
Yeah.
Yes. We have to borrow that person from, let's say, 5 different factories so that he rotate amongst ourselves.
Sure.
So just imagine you've got an embroidery machine that is sitting in Venda, and let's say you've got 10 of them. It's going to be too costly.
Sure.
We've got some machines that we import from Italy, the Lonati machines for the school socks.
Yeah.
That machine, to get a technician to come and assist you here, it's too much. It's way too much.
The technician would have to come from Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The language breakdown.
Yeah.
It's another challenge.
Yeah.
You need to get somebody to translate for you.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you have to pay that person.
Does this mean we're almost undervaluing the individuals that have been able to overcome all of these things? The people that have been able to get into quiet provinces, cities, towns, and actually build big businesses, whatever it may be. It could be a sun city for tourism, could be a mine somewhere, it could be textiles in a place. It could be even the colonizers that came here, the Dutch and the British, etc. And they came and they built industries that I can imagine someone from Europe saying, who's going to come and fix those machines there? Who's going to build that thing there? And they're like, we're going to do it. And it's going to take time. But do we undervalue those people and the difficulty it takes to actually build industries in places where there was almost nothing?
Yeah, remember when you come and build something, let's say, in a place where there's nothing and you've got enough connections, you've got enough money, and enough people to rely on.
Yeah,
it's a different story.
Yeah,
I cannot say we undervalue those people. We've got a lot of industries that have been operating, that have been built, and they became successful. I'll give you an example, like Langeberg, Cool.
Yes.
But yeah, with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
People build those machines.
Yes.
People build those factories.
Yes.
But the trouble becomes Penuel. When Penuel gets into Coca-Cola, when Penuel get access to money, for Penuel to go back home to say, okay, I'm going to run something very small as well with the skills that I've got. It's difficult.
Okay. So you leave Limpopo, you move to Joburg after high school?
Yeah, after high school, moved to Joburg. When I get here, get odd jobs. You take yourself to Technicon. At that time, things were not as complicated as they are now.
In what sense?
we used to have 3 distance learning. It was UNISA, Technikon of South Africa, and Vista.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah.
You could do correspondence.
You could do correspondence.
Yeah.
Yes. So
when you came here, it wasn't because you'd been accepted at a tertiary institution.
No.
You came here just looking for
opportunities. I came here hungry for opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes. Came here hungry for opportunities, took myself to the Technikon.
Yeah.
You know, while I'm at the Technikon, I did well. I get hired at Telkom.
You moved from being an E student to a bit better.
Yeah, well, I had guys that were helping me, you know. I mean, I've never done accounting at high school.
Sure.
So, but one of my friends has to sit with me the whole day, the whole night.
Sure.
Said, no, but this is easy, man.
Sure.
So he simplified it for me. And then, yes, he helped me a lot. So, yeah. And obviously to do something like IT 1997, it was difficult, you know.
Sure.
It's one of those things that you've never heard about.
Sure.
Yes.
It was a huge dark space.
Yes.
No one knew what it was, where it was going.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so you get in there, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn a lot within a short space of time.
Yeah.
You know, and you realize that, you know what, in fact, the few subjects that I've passed in my first year, it's enough to carry me to the next level.
Sure.
Yes.
Why did you pick IT?
Yeah, IT.
Why did you pick IT?
Well, that's one thing that I was interested in.
Even though people didn't know about it?
Well, very few people.
You were willing to gamble at that time?
Yeah.
Or did you see something people didn't see?
Well, you know, it was computers. Everybody was interested in computers.
Okay.
You know, and obviously the minute you walk closer, you then start to see, oh, there's software development, there's network infrastructure.
Sure.
You know, there's a whole lot of things that can be done.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously you get exposed to too many things.
Yeah.
I mean, you help too many people within the organization. You know, you help a lot of, let's say, subsidiaries within the company where they need like the business analysis skills.
Yeah.
So you start realizing, oh, Penuel need an application like this that can be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, so you get exposed to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes. So at that time, it was very interesting.
Okay.
You know, so you will understand what the engineer does. Obviously, you will install kits for them, you know.
What's kits?
Engineering softwares, auditing softwares. So it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Yes, because everything gets operated on the system, you know, on computers. So it becomes a lot more easier.
Okay.
So once you understand this department is doing this, then you start learning a lot of things.
How long did you stay at Telkom?
No, I stayed at Telkom for 4 years. Then after that, I said, nope, you know.
What's nope?
No, I had to go and look for something else.
Why?
You know, look, I was hungry, Baba. You know,
you weren't earning a good salary at Telkom?
Look, the salary was good, but you know what? There were a lot of opportunities. Then I went to the city of Joburg. Yes. Then when I got
to go work, or you moved to another employer?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then I worked for the city of Johannesburg. You know, you get another exposure as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Then after that, I said, no, this is enough.
How long were you at the city of Joburg for?
About 3-4 years.
And then after that?
Well, while I was at the city of Joburg, I started selling houses.
What do you mean you started selling houses?
I started being an estate agent.
At the same time, it was a side hustle.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
No, it's easy. I mean,
you can't say what you're saying. But you can't say what you're saying that it's easy.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean,
so you're at the city of Joburg.
I had 3 jobs. I was fixing computers when I get home, and then I'm working for the city of Joburg. You know, then I bought a house in Van Dyke Park.
Okay.
Yeah, then there's this guy, Eugene. Then I said, Chief, how do I become an agent over the weekend? Then he said, no, come through, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I sold 2 houses with him. Then I said, no, I must stand on my own, you know.
And do your own estate agency?
Yeah.
Selling houses?
Yeah, no, acquiring properties. Buying now.
While you're at the city of Joburg?
Yes.
With your salary?
Yeah. Well, I had a credit line.
I want you to tell people the story.
I mean, I had a credit card that was had money on street and had money on budget. And then there was this guy from Oko. He was selling private land.
Oko is an auction.
Yeah, auction
company.
house.
Sure.
Yeah, he was selling private lands.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I bought 2 pockets of land with a credit card.
How much were the pockets of land? How much was your credit card limit?
Credit card limit was 70K.
70,000.
Yes.
How much were the properties?
40 and 30. And I had some savings, you know.
So you bought those pocket of land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I walked away, got my title deed. Then I subdivided them.
The plots?
Yeah.
Subdivided to
into
build.
stands.
Okay.
Yes.
What area was it?
Don Park.
And then you started building?
No, I didn't have money to build.
You just kept the stands?
I had to sell them off.
After subdividing?
Yeah, because I wanted money.
Do you remember how much you made?
No, it's a lot of money, but let's not talk about it. I wanted you to talk about money. You know, so it was easy, you know. So I had to put in the infrastructure, the earthworks, you know, approached 2 guys that were doing that full time. Then I sold the stands, you know.
You don't want to share with the people how this thing went down, because this is very important and it's very key information, especially because you keep emphasizing that it's easy.
Look, remember, a lot of things are available there. It's just that there's very few people that wants to do the right things. You know, I always had 2-3 jobs.
Can we go a step back?
Okay.
So you leave Telkom.
Yeah.
Working in IT.
Yeah, I go to the city of Joburg.
Then you go to the city of Joburg doing what there?
IT.
Still IT work.
At JRA, Johannesburg Road Agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get home, you fix computers for people for extra income.
I mean, you come there, you want Windows 95. I put Windows 95,
sure,
an Office 2000.
And you get paid.
Yeah, well,
software, etc.
Yeah, I get paid. There was too many of them. There will always be someone waiting for me. So when I knock off at work, I know. And then
how are you advertising that business?
No, I didn't have to advertise. Some word of mouth.
It was a scarce.
I mean, I help you. Yes, I help you.
And then I go tell other people.
Yeah.
And you always had customers.
I always had customers.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll even run away for those customers.
And then you decided to buy a house with your salary, get a bond.
Yeah. And
then after you bought the house, you're like, no, man, I think I could be involved in this space.
Look, I think I had the right mentality. I owned my first house when I was 21.
Okay.
Yes, 21.
After you buy this house, you go to the estate agent, you're like, listen, I want to sell houses.
Yeah. Because I saw how easy it was.
For him to sell you the house?
Yes.
You're like, I also want to do
this. Then I said, no, man, it can't be possible.
So you sold 2 houses?
You know? So, yeah, I was with him. I sold 2 houses.
In what space?
No, it was within 2 months.
You sold 2 houses in 2 months?
Yes, because I had a lot of people that I know.
Then you were like, you know what?
Then I said, no, give me my commission. No, thank you very much, boss.
I actually want to go and acquire my own property.
Yes. Then, you know.
Because you looked at the commission, you're like, no, I could make more if I buy the house.
Yes.
And sell it.
Yes. I mean, commission is what? It was 7% plus VAT.
Oh, it's not 3% now.
No, but remember, he's the principal.
Agents are struggling.
He's the principal.
Okay.
Right? I'm the agent. So I said, okay, it's fine. He gave me 3%.
Okay. The agent gets 3%, as the principal, they get 7%.
Yeah.
So you know someone who works at an auction house for property, for land?
Well, in those times,
sure,
newspaper was a big thing.
Okay.
If you could take Sunday Times,
yes,
go at the back,
yes,
you'll only see like big auctioneers.
Okay.
Yes, advertising whatever that they will be selling.
Sure.
Yes.
You'd read that.
That's what
for fun.
That's what when I buy Sunday Times, that is what I was buying it for.
Why? What made you want to read that?
Well, I just had interest in properties.
And someone said, look, buy Sunday Times, look at the back, there's opportunities there.
I was already working. So buying Sunday Times, 4 newspapers every Sunday.
Sure.
It was a norm.
You loved information and knowledge.
Well, that is the only place where you can know things quicker. There were no Facebook, there were nothing. It was our Facebook that time.
Sure.
Yes.
So you see Oko, you're like, no, I'm going to attend an auction. I want to see what's going on here.
Well, my first car, I bought it at the auction at Benchmouse.
Benchmouse?
Yeah, 3,000 rand, Uno Fire. And then my installment was how much? It was about 250.
What year was this?
Eh?
What year was this?
It was when? It was 2000, 2002. Yes. Then I went back again.
Was how much?
About 250.
Uno fire.
Yes. You know.
So you know auctions, you know Birchmore's you're also exposed because of the back
Yeah,
of
well,
the
it
paper.
used to be in town in Joburg.
Sure.
Yes.
So you saw it passing by.
Then I said, wow, is it possible? This car, does it starts? When I get there, they give me keys, it starts. Oh, wow. Voila.
And you didn't buy it cash. You got it on
And I
installment.
had that money, but I said, no, I just want to see what the bank is going to react. And remember, in those days, you could buy 3 houses.
Sure.
And the bank wouldn't even see.
What do you mean they wouldn't see?
Okay, what happens now? You can't do that. You can't buy 3 houses at the same time. But in the olden days, you could buy 4 houses at the same time.
Why are you saying the bank couldn't see?
Yeah, well,
They
the
wouldn't know
systems,
that you're buying.
yes.
The systems weren't.
I'll take a
overlapping.
bond from Standard Bank. I'll take a bond from FNB. I'll take a bond from Netbank.
It wouldn't be
and
logged anyway.
SA Home Loans. Remember, these guys, they couldn't see each other.
Sure.
Yes.
Like they do
The
now.
only people that will know that I'm doing that, it was the credit bureaus.
Sure.
Yes, TransUnion and Experian.
Okay.
So, yes. So it was easy to buy a lot and rent them out.
No, let's go back to so you go to Oko and
Yeah.
there's 2 plots of land.
I go to Oko.
There's 2 plots of land for 70,000.
There were a lot. They were,
Yeah, but you found one for 30,000 and one for 40,000.
and those were the smallest.
Sure.
Yes, because
in the East Rand.
Yes.
Go to Don Park, Eguruleni.
yeah, Don't Park.
So you go and you buy those
Yeah.
decent size.
No, it was 8,000 square meter.
That sounds huge.
Well, it was huge, and remember the reason why I bought that piece.
Yeah.
It's because it had 2 roads
Sure.
in between, so I didn't have to build a road, which was going to cost me a lot of money.
Don Park, Rondebult,
Rondebel roads.
and what's the other one? Is it something Mare? No,
Yeah.
Perry Mare.
Yeah,
Perry Mare. and
just at the
Rondebult.
corner of Rondebelt and Perimare.
Okay.
You know?
You went
Yes.
and you got those plots,
Yes, yes.
and then you subdivided each one into how many?
No, the first
stands?
one.
Sure.
I worked on the first one.
Okay.
8 stands.
On the one plot,
Of about 760 square meter.
and you sold each of these stands separately.
Yeah.
How much for each
And to
stand?
my buddies.
How much for each stand?
No, man. How kuzegi, don't go into those things. You know. And I sold them
Is
to
it
my
because your
buddies.
friends bought?
No,
Why can't you say they already know they
bought
bought
at
the
the fair
stands?
price? And remember, some of them they
Yeah.
couldn't believe that these are my stands.
Sure.
Because when we did the transfer
Yeah.
at the lawyers,
Sure.
they kept on asking the conveyancer, "Is it his stands?
land is
How
this?"
much is he getting from this?" Because
Sure.
they thought I'm an agent.
Sure.
You know. Then I said, "No, it's his. Why?"
Yeah.
You know.
Why don't you want to tell us how much you made?
No, man. Then after
Okay,
that,
let's just say you made multiples more than you put in.
look, a lot. I mean, I bought that thing for almost 60K.
Okay.
You know, because it's transfer costs.
But you don't want to tell us how much you made.
No, that's not important.
Okay.
Yes.
You said you used the credit card.
Yeah,
You just swiped your credit card and you bought pieces of land.
yeah.
Okay. After you make money from these pieces of land,
Mhm.
what happens thereafter?
No, then after that, I bought embroidery machines.
Okay.
Yes.
From where?
No, there were a lot of agents here.
Selling embroidery machine. What would make you buy an embroidery machine?
Before that,
Yeah.
you know, I took my son to school.
Mm.
So I had to queue for school uniform.
Queue.
Yeah, I had to sit on a queue.
Yeah. That
So-
happens at the beginning of every year for every parent.
Yes, so my son was going to do grade 1.
Sure.
So I couldn't understand that. I mean, all of us were queuing here. I mean, there's no any other person who can sell us this type of
Uniform.
clothes,
Yeah.
you know. Then I said, no, this can't be possible,
Sure.
you know. Then I approached one principal, said to him that, "Chief, I queued there, there's no uniform,
Mm.
you know. You don't have any other suppliers?" He said, "No, I don't have." Then I said, "No, I'm going to be one. It's fine, you know. Just give me 2 months."
And the principal said, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Oliver.
So then you went to go and look for the machines.
Then I went to do some samples.
Sure.
So a lot of guys messed me up in Joburg,
Okay.
you know. Then I said, it's fine.
Those are good lessons, by the way.
Yes. Well, thank God. Even today when I meet those guys, I just tell them that, hey, if it was not because of you, I could have been still working for the council maybe.
Sure.
So, and then I went back home, because I know home they were also struggling.
Home is where? Limpopo?
Limpopo.
Okay.
So I spoke to a few principals.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Then they said, no, why not? Go ahead.
Sure.
Then that is where it started. Then one of the problems, it was embroidery.
Okay.
I'll take my things to factory one.
Yeah.
They'll tell me that they'll be done on Friday.
Yeah.
On Friday, they're not done.
Okay.
So I said no.
So you weren't manufacturing shirts and those things. You were just taking shirts and then putting a badge.
There was a guy that was manufacturing.
That you knew?
Yes.
That you were stocking from?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was not doing embroidery.
Okay.
Yes. Because he didn't have machines.
Sure. But the getting of the stock it didn't take a long time. You could just pick up stock.
No, it took a long time. Remember, it's special designs.
The uniform as well?
Yes.
Okay.
It's special designs.
Okay.
So the guy as well didn't have machines. Yeah. He had the machine to manufacture the garments.
Okay.
But he didn't have the machine to brand the garments.
Okay.
Yes. But obviously, these guys, once you start giving them a lot of work, then they start relaxing as well.
True. Sadly.
Yes, sadly, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Then another headache was jersey machines.
Yeah.
I'll give a guy, let's say, 200 jerseys to make for few schools.
Sure.
Come Friday, I don't get them.
Yeah.
Yes. So I said, no. So when I sold my piece of land, I already had a plan to say, you know what? Once I sell everything, I need to buy branding machines.
Yeah. Embroidery.
Yes, because I don't know anything about sewing.
Sure.
Yes. And then I'm not ready. Then I brought 2 embroidery machines. Okay. At that time, they were cheap. They were about 150.
For an embroidery machine?
Yes, for a forehead.
How much would that be today?
Today, it's 700.
700 rand?
Yeah, Tajima is 700. The SWF is about 550.
Okay.
Yes.
So you buy these 2 machines, you take them home?
No, in my house.
Yeah.
Yes.
You take them home?
Yeah, in my house, I create space.
Yeah.
Then I embroider from home.
So you go and you get your stock from this guy?
Yes.
And then from there you come home and then you do the embroidery?
Yes, then I do the embroidery myself.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what happens from there?
No, then after that...
You supplied...
Then I supply one school.
Your son's school?
The same school your children are going to Freeway Park.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, my kids don't go to Freeway Park, but okay. there's a kids that I know there.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That was the school.
Yes.
Tell Mr. Olifir.
Yes.
You go and you start supplying.
Yeah. Then obviously he linked me up with another principal, at Sanwat High.
Again, word of mouth.
Yeah, Sanwat High. They said, look.
I actually also know people that went to Sanwat High.
Yeah, there's this guy. Can you try him?
Sure.
Then they were happy with my product.
Yeah.
Then later I said, no, the jerseys that I'm getting is not a good quality.
Sure.
You
hadn't started at home. Mm-mm. You said you went home?
No, I've started as well.
You're supplying.
But remember, business that side is not as busy as Gauteng.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I bought jersey machines as well.
Okay.
Yes, from a guy in Cape Town.
Sure.
Yes. Then, okay. Sold me 2 machines. They were cheap as well at that time. They were about 150.
Sure.
So it was
to
not
make jerseys.
Yes. Then one day I get to work. I called my boss and said, you know what, Ina, let's just call it a day. This is not working. Thank you.
Based on what? You're making money with the uniform.
I'm too busy.
It's not about money.
No, I'm too busy.
So the money you were earning at the city of Joburg, this money you're making from the uniform wasn't as much.
No. And remember, before the uniform, I had a lot of houses. I was buying houses. Whenever
you see these stories, you're jumping here, because you must remember where we are, right? You've just sold these stands.
Yeah.
You've bought embroidery machines, and then you've started embroidery, and then you went and you bought jersey machines. You're telling me at the same time you're still doing this property thing.
But remember, you buy a house, there's nothing you can do. It's just to renovate it and sell it. So it doesn't mean because I bought that piece of land, then I stopped buying properties.
You carried on?
I carried on.
No longer with your credit card though?
No, because now I'm self-sufficient.
You're making profit from the...
Yes. And then
flipping.
And so, yeah, I'm flipping. Okay. And I've got a lot of agents that I can say, you take this too, you take this too. You know, they're also hungry. They need money.
But why do you say this like it's easy?
It is easy if you want to make it easy. Remember, things become difficult because sometimes you want to make them difficult.
Sure.
Yes. But I had time and then I was committed.
From when you sold your first pieces of land to the point where you told your boss at the Johannesburg Railway Agency.
Johannesburg Road Agency.
Road Agency, sorry,
Yes.
JRA. Do you know how many properties you'd flipped by that point?
Yeah, I'm sure about 30.
30.
Yeah.
This is over
Remember,
how many years maybe?
during that time, houses were not expensive.
Okay.
No.
They're expensive now.
Too much. Sure. I mean, the house that let's say 15 years ago,
yeah,
I sold for 250. It's 750 today.
Okay.
Yes. There's not even, you'll find very lucky to find a cheap house in a township for 500.
Yeah, they've become very expensive.
That's the problem.
In the township.
So that time there were a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're not going to tell us how much on average you'd make with each flip?
No, you'll make about, let's say, 150, 180.
1,000?
Yes.
So if you're doing that times 30, now we do the maths, so that by the time you're leaving your work, this is what you can do on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Do you have an idea of how long it took you to flip the 30 houses by the time you quit, in terms of years, months?
No, not years, man. It's few months. Remember,
Baba.
Remember, you've got...
You're prying us now.
No. You've got agents here. You've got agents here, right? You buy a property. I give it to Penuel. Penuel, you can sell this property.
Sure.
Right? I give you a commission of that property.
Sure.
Yes. Some properties will take longer.
Okay.
Because of they're not in a good
condition. Yeah.
You have to renovate. You know,
these are things you do at your cost.
This is the things that you do at your cost. But
sure.
Because you're not desperate, you're not in a hurry to flip them.
Yeah.
You know? And then obviously you're looking for the right buyer.
Sure.
Yes. You don't just want to sell it because you can sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to buy a lot of stands as well. People will sell you stands.
During the same time?
Stands, I mean, you'll buy a stand for 20,000. After, let's say, 15 days, somebody will tell you that I need that stand.
For how much?
Maybe for 100.
Huh?
Do you know how much is a 350 stand now in a township? 350 square meter stand. You're not going to pay less than 300,000. Yes.
You'd get a stand for 20,000 from someone who is willing to offload. And
somebody who's desperate for money.
You flip it for 100K.
Yes. But remember, you go back with that money. And in some of these properties, you find the old rates and taxes.
Sure.
You know? Sure. You have to settle the municipality.
Sure.
Yes, because you're not going to get transfer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get to your boss and you're like, no, Kinkrandi, I'm making some money here from the uniform, but at the same time, I'm flipping properties and I'm okay.
And then he knew, because remember, I started advertising in newspapers. So he started seeing me.
Started advertising what? The houses?
Yes, in local newspaper.
How would he see you?
I work with people.
No, but I'm saying, would he see your face? Would he see your name?
Remember, I buy an advert in a newspaper.
Okay.
Right? Okay. I put the houses that I sell. And then I put my face there.
You are running a proper property sales.
Yes. And I remember one day my MD calling me that, is that you? Then I said, yes. They said, no, but why you didn't tell us that you're selling houses? Why must I tell you? It has nothing to do with IT. It has nothing to do with my work. You know?
You stopped fixing computers and uploading software or loading software?
Yeah.
You stopped that?
Yeah.
And you focused on the property and
the school uniform. And the school uniform became big.
This is because you must remember where we stopped the story. You bought 2 jersey machines from Cape Town.
Yeah.
And that's when you decided, look, I'm quitting.
Yes.
What happens from there in terms of that business?
The jersey business?
Yeah.
No, it grew. Still running.
You had to buy more machines.
Yeah, look, I had to buy more machines. And yes, I had to
Still working from home?
No. In a proper factory now. In a proper factory setup in Joburg.
What year is this when you quit your work?
That was 2005.
2005.
Yeah, 2005, 2006. Yeah.
How many years ago is that now? Almost 20.
Yeah, time flies.
Oh, almost 20 years. From 2005 to today, from the jerseys maybe, or even the school uniform as a whole,
Yeah.
how has your growth been? What have been some of your wins and some of your challenges?
Yeah, one of the biggest problems is that, to grow a business at the very same time acquire equipment, it's heavy. And remember, a lot of time you're alone in these things. People don't understand what is it that you're trying to do.
Sure.
But it's difficult because whatever money that you get, you put it back into the equipment.
Sure.
And in the process, you've got staff. They've got expectations as well. And at the very same time, you've got clients that are not honest.
What do you mean clients that are not honest? You're selling school uniform to parents?
To parents and companies. Remember, there are companies that are also resellers.
Okay.
They'll buy from me.
Okay.
Yes.
Not schools?
No. You don't sell to school. You sell to parents.
Okay.
Yes.
But the resellers, when you say companies?
Yeah, there are companies that are also resellers.
That means you went beyond just school uniform? Or you mean the companies that sell school uniform?
They will also buy from me.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a jersey.
Sure.
When I manufacture jerseys, I'll get companies that also, let's say, I don't want to say people's companies.
No, don't mention the companies.
Yes.
But let's say there's a company
resellers.
Sure.
They'll say, okay.
The ones with the queues.
Yes. Sell me 500 jerseys.
Yeah.
Things like that. So some of them are honest people. Some of them, they're just there to disrupt your business.
So you went from wanting to solve a problem for your son and your queue to wanting to potentially compete and supply his school to approaching other principals.
Yes.
To a point where you're like, now even the stores that sell, I supply them as well.
Yes, and then I end up opening stores as well.
So you also have stores that resell?
Yes.
That you supply?
That's my own store.
Yeah. How has the pushback been? I always have this thought that business is highly competitive.
Yeah.
And there's certain businesses that want to operate as monopolies. I come from Newcastle. In Newcastle, we had Trevor Smith Sports. They supplied all the schools there. And it would only be, I think I'd finished high school or towards the end of high school where I think there were one or two, because Trevor Smith was white owned. There were one or two Indian owned school uniform businesses that I don't know how they ended up being allowed, because teachers would shout and be like, you can only buy this thing from there. Yeah. But then they started supplying uniform in that area. I can only imagine that you're coming to disrupt an existing monopoly in an area. We're the only ones that supply uniform for that school. You never got pushback?
I did. Remember, these guys, they realized that I'm around. They started blocking other manufacturers to assist me with socks, ties, So I had to start other relationships in different provinces to say, okay, they don't know me here. Yeah. When I buy socks, I'll buy like 4,000 pairs of socks, so that I don't have to come back again to this guy. Because I don't know when I come back, what is it that is going to say to me? Yes.
At no point did people ever treat you like you're an agent. Where's the white person or the Indian person that you work for?
People, even today, when they come to my shop, they still believe
there's someone.
There's Mohammed somewhere who owns this shop, and it's fine. There's nothing I can say, Do
they think that you are a South African?
Look, a lot of them, because of they talk to me, they realize that I'm a South African.
Sure.
But some of them still believe no, it's not his business.
It's not his business, and maybe he's not South African. Who are you? Where are you from? What country are you from?
But remember, because I've opened that shop about 12 years ago.
Sure.
Now they're used to me. They know me very well.
Sure.
At least now they are relaxed.
Is it better to be upfront and to say this is my business, or to be hidden and to pretend
it will depend what brings that conversation to the client. A lot of time is when there's a problem.
Okay.
You know, the customer will always want to see the owner.
Sure.
Yes. And, you know, when you rock up, some of them, they will say, wow, okay, you know, then they won't even continue complaining.
Why? Why do they stop?
No, well, remember, some people just complain about small things,
Sure.
you know, and they just need an explanation.
Okay.
Not to say they're trying to be funny or whatever. They just need an explanation. But one of the embarrassing moments was that each and every time I'll wake up and think, is it fair for us to depend, you know, on everything? Yes. That was my biggest problem.
Sure.
Yes.
One of my favorite business stories is Vivian Reddy. He's a billionaire. Him and his wife have just opened, I think it's called Oceans Mall. And I don't know if it's Radisson by Mhlanga. Stunning hotel, stunning mall. It's got a platinum walk to rival it Diamond Walk line in Sandton. And one of the stories he tells, and look, if I'm incorrect, I guess people will correct me. He had a company, I think, called Edison Electrical, which during the apartheid era would supply electrical services. I stand to be corrected, but may have even gotten tenders. And the story that Vivian would tell would be how he always pretended that there was a white owner somewhere overseas. And whenever they'd call, they'd be like, hey, you must tell your boss, yeah, sure, but it was his business. And that's how he managed to do a lot of business work. I think, may he rest in peace, Untate Richard Maponya, who passed on, has got a similar story in how, I don't know if it was uniform or just clothing, where he worked at a factory and there was a white person there who'd give him the stock. I don't know if it was rejects or whatever, give him the stock to go sell. Even though it was his business, it'd always be like, no, but my mlungu says, and ish, payments and those kind of things. So in certain spaces, even to this day in 2024, you still find spaces that are white dominated. Some of them are Indian dominated. And some of those people don't take kindly, specifically to a black South African in this space. Who the hell are you? Are you a politician? Are you politically connected? Did you get funding from ITC, NEF? Is that why you're here? And they tend to be racist and funny. And some people end up putting this mask and pretending like, no, and this isn't Tate Ramaphosa's business. So, you know, I was like, oh, okay, no, it's fine. Then they let you pass because like, no, it's politicians. And then in that way, you get to get into certain rooms or, no, there's a Greek man who started this business. And, you know, my mother used to work in his kitchen. So today, just as a way of hiding. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts around this need, even today, especially when you spoke about billionaires in places like Limpopo that are hidden. Some of them, who I may know, are hidden because there's this pushback and this potential sabotage from competitors and the like.
Yeah, it's possible, but unfortunately, again, when you hide your business, there are people that will be more interested to come and be big potential clients.
Sure.
But because of you hiding yourself as well,
they pull back.
Yes, I mean, with me starting a factory, you know, I got a lot of support from municipalities as well.
Sure.
You know,
what do you mean?
The Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality. I mean, they gave me a job. Obviously, I tendered for a job.
Okay.
To supply the Metropolis with uniforms.
Metropolis?
Yeah.
Tshwane?
The whole workforce.
That's you?
Yes. Not really. Don't talk about money. There's no person with money. You know.
So if I bump into a Tshwane Metro cop?
Yeah, not now. No. I mean, these things, they change. You know. So I had the whole of...
But at some point?
Yeah, I had the whole of Tshwane.
Okay.
I had Joburg.
JMPD?
Yes.
JMPD uniform?
When... Yes. Even the security that they've hired, all those securities,
sure,
I made uniform for them. All of them. Nelson Mandela Bay, when it launched into the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro.
Yes.
Yes. All the clothing came from me.
How do you get it right to build relationships? Because, yes, I know you say things are easy, but I mean, from when you tell your story, I know we didn't speak on high school, and I apologize. But from when you start hustling here in Joburg to working at Telkom to getting clients, to the city of Joburg, to buying a property, to going to principals, it looks like you have some kind of skill in dealing with people and getting opportunities.
Just be humble. And then if somebody says no, says no.
But it seems like you're always out there meeting people and just
every day
looking for opportunities.
Every day of my life. And then that's why a lot of people they'll say, but how do you get so many things right?
Sure.
You know? And unfortunately, that is the strength that I've got as well.
Yeah.
I'm willing to work.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And I work straight.
Sure.
Yes. I'm willing to work. As long as there's work,
yeah,
I'm willing to do it.
And you deliver.
And I deliver.
Do you think delivery is one of your superpowers? In a country where a lot of people, I mean, you were telling
and
us
quality
of
as
people
well.
That don't
and quality.
Deliver.
The type of jersey that I make now, there's very few people who can make it in South Africa.
School jersey?
Yes. The school jersey that I can make for your kids, they can wear it for 3 to 4 years.
Other people, jersey,
no,
in a few months, it's got
2 months.
holes, yeah.
The neck is already like, I don't know, what do you call it? Yes. So, yeah.
How have you been able to compete specifically on price? Quality, I'm hearing you, but on price, because a lot of people are very price sensitive, whether it's a parent or a store.
Just be fair to everybody. Remember, just be fair to all the customers.
Okay.
You know, I know a lot of people are complaining about the prices of school wear.
Yeah.
You know,
school
and
uniform
it's a headache to the competition commissioner as well. It's a headache
because
to the competition commissioner because they're always getting complaints.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, a lot of guys are not fair.
Okay. They're greedy.
I mean, they'll buy a jersey for 80 rand, a low quality jersey,
sure,
and sell it for 400 rand.
Yeah.
You know, and
these are the resellers.
These are, yes.
Okay.
And that's where the trouble is.
Okay.
You know, so you just have to be fair in your pricing.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, give parents a fair price.
Yeah.
Then they will come back.
Sure.
Yes. You don't need to be on billboards to say, I'm selling this, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know, just give people a fair price, you know,
yeah,
and you'll get your money.
Before I speak about, let me actually speak about PEP. So PEP has got a monopoly on school uniform in this country. If I'm not mistaken, they may have put on their website at some point that they supply, I don't know if I'm mistaken, and I apologize. Abo Christo Visa they'll drag me if they want. I don't know if it was 70% of all school uniform in the country comes from PEP, which is a serious monopoly. I remember traveling to a city called Guangzhou in China. Where a lot of people go to stock a lot of these t-shirts and things we wear today. I went there because one of the things I said in my head is it can't be that PEP has this monopoly. I'm going to go find manufacturers, suppliers of things like school shirts and white label, plain, white shirts, gray pants, socks, and I'm going to come back and try and compete. I went there and I met some people and I came back and then I started getting some quotations from local textiles guys. One of the things South Africans don't know is there are people 24 hours a day in the Joburg CBD that are making clothing 24 hours a day. We have got factories within buildings that you would never notice because you won't know. There's another life there.
That's us.
That's you.
Yeah.
I got exposed to that life during those times when I was doing my hustling thing. Some of them, Batunga underground. Joburg is actually a fascinating place for people that explore. I went there and I got quotations for shirts and those things. And after I got those numbers and I went to China, I walked into a PEP. And I remember looking at a school shirt and it was 14 Rand 99 at that time. Mm-hmm. And in my head, after doing all the numbers, I was like, no. How does PEP sell a school shirt for 15 Rand? Because you need to understand, this is 15 Rand to the customer. Mm-hmm. So how much is the store getting it for if the store has to source it? How much is it costing to make? How much is the cost of logistics from wherever it's being made from to bring it here to store? And then there's those things you speak about, advertising. At PEP, get your latest.
Okay.
And it's like, how the hell does PEP, Nabo Student Price and those guys create such a crazy monopoly? And one of their arguments is they manufacture locally, which I didn't believe for a long time.
They do. The person who manufactures for them is my buddy. But it's fine. Let's leave it there.
Your buddy is your friend?
Yeah. I also manufacture for him. certain things. I manufacture jerseys for him. So he manufactures certain things for me. I manufacture certain things for him. Let me explain to you how it works. Pepsi is a big company. When they buy, right, they can go to a shoe manufacturer and tell them that we need 10 million pairs of school shoes, right? That manufacturer is not going to look at you with your hundreds because you'll be screaming every day. You'll be following up every day, right? They give him an order, they give him the money. Sometimes they don't even give him the money, they give him the order.
Yeah.
Yes. For 10 million
pairs of school shoes.
Yes. Then what then Pep does, he will take 10, let's say, 100 pairs or 50 pairs, give them to a particular store. Yes. 50 pairs to a particular store. The disadvantage is once that stock is finished, Pep cannot put more shoes on the shelf.
Oof, this sounds like a loophole.
Then that's where I come in.
Hey, come on, boy.
And then
No, this one is finished. Oh,
they lose them.
okay.
Yeah, and they'll lose them when they go play, do this and that. So Pep will wait for another back to school campaign. You know, that is where I come in.
Hey, you're giving us hacks, Mus.
You know,
and
another thing is that you need to try and identify the quality.
Yeah.
I sell the Rolls Royce of the shoe. Yes. You will get the basic shoe when you get
Do you sell shoes as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when your kids get home telling you that, Dad, I need school shoes.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you which one they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kids do that.
Yes. They'll tell you that I need toughest gold. You're not going to find it at Pep.
Hey, nah.
So I'll be waiting for you. And your Pep. You know? Pep will have 100 shirts. Right?
I'm imagining,
Pep will have 100 shirts.
Before you get to the 100 shirts, I'm imagining a parent coming to you and they ask for the shoe and you're like, this is my price. And the parents are like, hey,
no,
your shoes are expensive. I'm going to go to Pep, I so cheap.
No, they all do that.
And then you're like, hey, sure.
I know it's going to come back. I wait
for
for
in 3 months, it's like, hey, bro, listen. You're like, oh, you're back.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I've got your size here. I need to say Ntoneku size. How did you know? Don't worry.
That's my job.
Sorry, 100 shirts. 100 shirts.
Purple have 100 shirts on their shelves.
Sure.
Once that 100 shirts it's sold, it's game over.
And torn.
And let me tell you, that 100 shirts, it's for 15 people. Because they buy five. So don't worry about those numbers. Those numbers means nothing. You know? And Pep, let me not talk about it. Okay.
Mobicel, jeez.
So we do.
I just spoiled the thing. Do you know? I don't know if it's changed yet. The highest selling cell phone in the country is a cell phone brand called Mobicel. I think it's Mobicel, yeah. So Mobicel is a South African brand. It was founded by I think he's an Indian gentleman. He may have originally been from Durban, but I think he's here in Joburg area now. He started off by fixing cell phones and selling secondhand. And then at some point he traveled. You know, it's really nice to travel. And I hope you'll tell us about travels as well. And he went to some of these countries where they make cell phone parts and they put parts together. And he started importing the parts and he created his own brand. And then he happened to get a deal to sell cell phones through Pep. And it's almost like, well, people talk about government tenders. But the tender you want is that Pep tender, where they come and they say, look, give us 10 million shoes.
Exactly.
Sorry. You've traveled abroad.
Yeah.
With business.
Yeah. Mainly to my suppliers.
Okay.
For the machines.
You don't buy locally anymore, the machines?
There's no machines locally.
For you? Or at your level?
No, for everybody.
Or they don't sell the way they used to?
There's no machine.
Because you told us about embroidery machines and
you will
machines.
never. There's no one who makes embroidery machines in Africa.
Or they just sell them?
They're just resellers. They're
Or
just
when
agents.
you're going to the source?
Yeah, but you don't go to the source to cut the agent out.
Okay.
No. You go to the source to learn more.
Okay.
Or what is it that you can do?
Okay.
The machines that are used for the jerseys,
Sure.
you can do the uppers. You see, amateki.
Sure.
Tekis. You can do ama upper or
Sure.
mateki. You can knit tekis.
Okay.
Yes.
With the machines you have?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, so you go there to get more technology and understand how this thing can be more efficient.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you reckon you have the best machines in the country?
It's not really the best.
Okay.
No. It's just one of the good machines.
Okay.
You know, the best machines are too expensive. We call them stalls.
Oh, the brand, Stahl. S-T-A-H-L. I've seen
S-T-O.
that. S-T-O.
Yeah, stall.
H-L.
Yes.
I think I've seen it.
Those are the best. Those are the Rolls Royce of the game.
Where do they come from?
The
Sounds German.
yeah.
German
Yeah.
engineering.
Yes.
Are you comfortable to say where you get your machines?
Yeah, Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yes.
I'm from Newcastle.
Yeah. And all those guys in Newcastle, they're Taiwanese.
I'm from Newcastle.
Yes.
So, you know, when someone says Taiwan, it's almost like, oh, I'm from Taiwan.
Yeah.
So I'm from Newcastle, and for people that don't know, Newcastle is built up of a couple of industries.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is farming. And people from Newcastle don't know how big farming is in Newcastle. Newcastle is a huge town, not because the town is big. The town is not big. But the land outside the farms are huge. Because I was friends with people that worked at private banking at Newcastle, and I'd ask them, who are the richest people here? And they're like, it's the farmers. I'm like, eh? They're like, well, the people that bring in millions every month to come and bank here, it's the farmers. Then we've got a big steel industry, which is it's been killed now because ArcelorMittal is pulling out because our government and whatever, and I think steel prices as well. It used to be ISCO. So ISCO was there growing up, and then it became Metal Steel. We've got chemicals industry there in Newcastle, Carbo Chem, quite big there as well. At some point in my upbringing, there'd be times when the town would smell. I don't know if it would be chemical leak or what. And then we've got a huge textiles industry.
Yep.
And once you do a bit of research, it's Taiwanese.
All of them.
People from Newcastle call it emabhodini, where you go there. I think Allwear was the big company there. You go there and there's these Taiwanese businesses. And I studied with a lot of the children there, the Taiwanese kids that studied. So when you say Taiwan, I mean, to a point where I don't know if it's still, there was is it a statue or there's a structure that's been built to commemorate the Taiwanese community, because Newcastle has got such a strong relationship with Taiwan.
Yeah.
I think we've got a Taiwanese ambassador in the town as well. Taiwan is one of the key places for machines, textiles.
The best.
The best.
Yes. The best.
China's trying to take over Taiwan.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. They're waiting for a fight.
Yeah,
they're waiting for an excuse to say,
you know.
They saw at us. Let's go and jump in.
Yeah. So one of the.
You've been to Taiwan.
Yeah, one of the officials from DECO facilitated
Department of International Relations.
Yes.
And something else.
Yes, facilitated a business trip for us to go there just to see how things are done.
Okay, to Taiwan.
Unfortunately, yes. You know, just to give us more exposure and obviously meet these manufacturers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what it takes to attend these things as a delegate? I'm aware that our government goes to places and sometimes they take business people with.
A lot.
Is it business people that they identify themselves, or can other people be in certain circles to be like, look, if you ever go to Germany, if you ever go to Japan, please add me on the list? How does it work?
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, they will be in contact with certain embassies.
Sure.
To say if there is an opportunity, you know, that arises that, look, they need South Africans to come to a particular country.
Yeah.
Yes. So some of them, they will shout, some of them, they will just keep quiet.
So
but
for the ordinary person, is it to visit embassies and let them know, hey, what's up? I run this business. or joining these chambers of commerce?
Joining the
business
chambers
clubs?
of commerce, because a lot of guys that came there, they were coming from the chambers of commerce.
Chambers of commerce.
Yes.
Okay.
Then that is when you can get a better invites and updates on what is happening, but they're very informative.
DIRCO is the Department of International Relations and Cooperation.
But remember, with Taiwan, it has got a lot of business activities.
As a country,
it has got a lot of business activities, and in their embassies, they've got a lot of programs.
Yeah.
Yes, that assist their own people.
Taiwanese people.
Yes.
Around the world.
All over. I mean, you go to Swaziland.
We don't have that.
No.
We don't have embassy. I'm an embassy as South Africa that are like, if you're South African, someone else will offer you support and programs. And
let me give you an example. Look at China City.
Yes.
Do you see where China City is?
Crown Mines.
How many? Okay, you've got 3 China cities there. You've got
Dragon City,
yes.
China Mall. There's a multiplex. Yeah, boy, that area. Those are my areas.
Have you seen at the back? Uguti, their government has built them.
I didn't know it was built by government. Those residential buildings, when you're going on the highway towards
but who can build that?
No, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's only Chinese who stays there.
It's only Chinese who stay there, I agree.
You go there and say, ngifuna room. Just try your luck. Understand? So remember, there was no way that these guys, they can be able to do anything here except the assistant of their government.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
It's a very good thing, by the way.
Understand?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, their rental amount that they pay in those units, it's far less.
Sure.
Sure. So if we can have that type of a setup in South Africa, whereby IDC, Department of Trade Industry, the Bargaining Council,
sure, PIC, they've got money
because they've got money, trillions. If they can be able to put money in those type of programs, we won't be a nation that is battling.
Yeah.
No.
And constantly begging.
Can I give you an example?
Sure.
Do you know what right now, here in South Africa, we don't even have one single person who's black who's making a school sock.
One of the things I wanted to ask you earlier is, you seem to be going deep into the value chain. And those of us who pretend to be entrepreneurs, we love those words. No, Chief, you must go into the value chain. The value chain of textiles, because most people don't understand, whether it's cotton, which comes from a plant, whether it's silk, whether it's wool, which comes from a sheep, that process of going from this plant or this animal and then becoming material, where in South Africa still a lot of our materials are coming from Indian-owned businesses, to a point where you're now sewing it to make a clothing garment, and then maybe wholesaling or retailing. Is this part of your plan? Is this something you've done a lot of research in? Is it worth it?
No, it's not worth it now, because there's a lot of processes. If you can look at the millers that we've got, I mean, most of them closed down, because of, let's say, Chinese imports, because of a lot of technical issues. The skills to run those big plants.
Sure.
Things are just getting smaller every day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few.
Is this a failure of government?
Look, I cannot...
In the sense that imports obviously have to be charged import duties, and your government can set tariffs that make it difficult to compete with local.
I cannot say maybe it's the failure of government. Right? I mean, there are people who made a lot of money long ago in the textile industry.
In South Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think maybe they also failed to reinvest the money into the new technology. Instead of buying a machine that fits this room, you buy a small machine that can do the same job.
Okay.
Yes. They were no longer interested. And some of them is because of maybe their children are not interested. So what is the point of me continuing with this thing?
That's sad.
you know. So, I mean, we are battling now with fabrics.
Battling with fabrics?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Certain fabrics, to get them,
Yeah.
you have to wait for 3 to 4 months.
From where?
From China.
Is China still the place?
Well, they've got the technology.
I've been seeing a lot of textiles coming from Pakistan, Bangladesh,
Also,
Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And Vietnam actually came after China.
And even yarn. A lot of yarn comes from those countries.
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, it's a struggle now. You know, it's a struggle. And
by 3 to 4 months, you mean it's because they come by ship?
Yes.
Because I think the ship from
China,
China
if you order like
months.
10,000 meters, it has to come by ship. Because you'll have to fill up, let's say, a container.
Sure.
Yes.
What's the solution?
IDC must pump money into the textile game. Department of Trade and Industry.
Schools? You mentioned skills. Do we have the kids that even after you've pumped money that are going to be able to?
Well, the problem is when it comes to skills, it becomes the responsibility of the government to say, let's skill people, you know, to become competent in this, more especially the youth.
Sure.
You know, let's encourage them.
Sure.
Yes. By encouraging them, you know, let's make a lot of things available for them.
Sure.
Yes. Because it's a struggle.
I know Zimbabwe was also big in textiles and manufacturing at some point. I once visited, should I mention the area? No. So I once visited a factory somewhere in the Johannesburg area. And I stumbled upon a huge hall of ladies that were sewing. And I met, I don't know if he was the supervisor or the owner, an Indian man. And we greeted and we spoke. I told him I love business. I love learning. I'm always, you know, I'm looking for, at the time I was printing t-shirts. I'm always printing t-shirts. That's the one hustle I'll never stop. You started off and later on you always need skippers. Of which we struggle with t-shirts in this country, by the way. And maybe you'll explain to me why. I see a box and it's a box for one of our major clothing retailers. Those ones where kids go to buy fashionable items, for example. Kids, parents, doesn't matter. I'm like, no, man, I see this box. I'm like, but these clothes must are made in China. And I look at the box. I'm like, no, but the box is written made in China. And this Indian guy laughed. And he's like, no, we make this locally. I'm like, then why is it written made in China? And he told me that for some of our suppliers or some of our clients here that we supply and some of the consumers, they prefer reading a certain tag for whatever reason. And we'll put whatever tag is needed to be put there to move whatever we need to move. But we make the stuff here. I'd fast forward a few years and go to Guangzhou, and one of the things I got to see there is the Chinese people, they can replicate any brand you want. They can make you a Louis Vuitton shoe with a Nike swoosh and write Adidas on the thing and then put it in a Gucci box. That is exactly. And then they will ask you, what do you want it to say made in? Italy, Turkey, Spain, whatever you want, I'll put for you here. And it made me realize the illusion of what we think we're getting and from where and how. To a point where even the things you're saying of some of these things come from here, some come from there, and we don't even know. Are you aware of any such things where there's like a misbranding somewhere made in Italy and then everyone's like, well, 50,000 Italy, I mean, and it's from here at Tembi's.
Yeah, fakes are there and fakes will always be there. And then whatever that is written there is, you're not even sure.
Sure.
I mean, there are places that are famous in selling those things.
Sure.
You know? So, yeah, but normally when things that are made in South Africa,
sure,
we put made in South Africa or the name of the factory that makes it together with the VAT number because that's a requirement.
If you're doing business straight.
Yes, you need to put your VAT number there.
I wear black all the time. I want to mass produce black t-shirts. I think you and I have spoken about this, and my own merchandise in general. Why do we struggle so much in getting good quality t-shirts here and getting them at a consistent rate? there's some Indian guys who own businesses around the China city thing that have become quite popular. They pump a lot of t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, golf shirts. People go there to go and buy. They buy other things there as well. But even them, when you go there, the t-shirt is not the same brand. It's not from the same place. It's not necessarily the same quality or the same make. Why do we struggle with that?
Well, most of the t-shirts are not being made local.
Okay.
Yes.
And they run out, like this Pep story. Is it
Well,
because they run out?
Well, it's elections this year. I can tell you in the next coming 6 weeks, you won't be able to get a t-shirt.
Because of elections?
Yeah, everybody's advertising, everybody's campaigning. So there won't be a t-shirt.
Not specific colors. Green,
everything.
Yellow, and
remember, when they finished all those colors, they go to the next.
And they print.
Yes. I mean, yes. Whoever who takes royal blue is just going to take the whole royal blue. Whoever who takes red is just going to take the whole red, the entire color.
How many elections have you been through now that you're in the textile space?
Yeah.
How many elections do you think cycles you've been through? There's a question. There's
three,
a follow-up question.
About 3.
Have you found
about 3 national and local? I'm not too sure. About maybe 4 or 5.
Are you aware if there are people, and maybe you're one of them, that stockpile leading up to elections? So as a potential business opportunity, that look, every year before an election, go and buy 1,000 or 20,000 of this t-shirt and just hold them until this time, and then bump up the cheese. And then
you see the type of business that I'm in doesn't allow those things. I'm into school wear.
Sure.
I've got my own problems now. I have to deal with winter uniform. I can't be stockpiling a yellow t-shirt not knowing who's going to buy them. I can't do that. You know?
Do you
the next thing I stockpile it. You get 5 guys from the same office, they sell it to me at 20 rand. The other one says, no, I can pay 15 rand. I don't want to be in that space.
Sure.
You know? I'd rather focus on my schools.
Sure.
And do nice thing for them because they're loyal to me.
Sure.
Yes.
Are you aware if there are people that do that?
They are. And they make money.
Good money.
Yeah, but a lot of them also, when they lose big time.
I can imagine.
Because 4 or 5 years ago, there's a guy who made those type of t-shirts.
Sure.
But they were all very short. So technically, they were all rejects.
What do you mean short?
Like if you're taking a small, it means you have to take double extra large.
And you know our cadres, Baba. But think I triple XL. Ngoba Mukaba what?
No comment. So, you know what? I don't want to get into that space.
Sure.
You know, let me tell you one thing. I've got a sublimation plant. I sublimate my t-shirt.
Explain sublimation to people that don't know. Sublimation. So, okay, let's go embroidery, screen print, sublimation.
Okay. Embroidery.
Sure.
It's cotton.
Okay.
Yes. It's cotton. Printing is paint.
Okay.
Like silk screening is paint.
Okay.
And then dye sublimation.
Sure.
I dye the fabric.
So
I buy white.
Embroidery is when you sew.
Yes. With an
like
embroidery
badge
machine.
or what, and you can feel it.
Yes.
Silk screen is when.
Silk screen is paint. It's when I paint the t-shirt.
Okay.
It's the same as DTF.
What's DTF?
It's the same as silk screening, but
Okay.
it's just an improved
Version.
yes.
Or type of.
Because on the DTF, the machine mixes the paint.
Okay.
So
It's not you
in silk
yourself.
screening, you get Vusi mixes the paint.
Sure.
And then tomorrow when you need the same thing, that red is no longer the same. You know, but obviously some of the people, they can perfect that skill of
Sure.
getting the color right.
Sure.
But it's always a problem because
Exactly.
sometimes it depends on the condition. Where are you mixing, whatever.
Sure.
Yes.
Sublimation, you dye
Then
onto the
sublimation,
fabric.
I buy fabric. Then I turn it into something that is different.
And when you look at the material, it's almost as if the
It
material
will
was
never
made
go
with-
off. So what it means, I print on a paper,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
The design. Then after that, I burn it into the burner.
Okay.
Yes, at 240 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Yes. Then when it comes out, it transfers the image into the fabric.
You've become an expert in your
That is
field.
the fourth industrial revolution.
Come on.
Of the textile game.
Next
so
thing
before this
uniform and 3D printing.
Well, that's what happens now, you know. So before we used to go to China to get things like this.
Yeah.
The T-shirt. So now the equipment is here.
Sure.
We do it ourselves.
I once heard something, again, I'm being unfair by asking you. It's not really for you to ask. I remember sitting with, I think it was Likao Sehuana of Drip, the sneaker brand. We've sat with Theo Baloy as well. And they were speaking about, and it wasn't just them, it was a lot of people, because there's a lot of new sneaker brands, Ovaya, Konamanya as well. They speak about a mold, that they design a sneaker and then they have to send it somewhere overseas to create the something, and then they come back and they manufacture it here. Do you have any idea around those things and how they work?
Remember,
is there a gap in the market for a South African kid to do those things?
You know, remember the shoe market, it's very complicated.
Okay.
You know, it's very complicated in such a way that a lot of guys, they'll tell you that I manufacture these sneakers, but if you can ask them, take me to your factory. You know, the factories in China.
Yeah.
You know, how do you control something that it's not in your total control?
Sure.
So the problem is when they make those models, when they make those models, they're too costly.
Okay.
They're very expensive.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not going to be able to control the output,
correct,
it's a challenge.
Sure.
Because you can order, let's say, 200 pairs.
Sure.
What if the very same person who's manufacturing for you is manufacturing 2,000
for someone else
and send them and sell them cheaper?
That's exactly what happens.
You know?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just one topic that a lot of guys don't even want to listen to.
We can't make our own molds here. You don't know?
We can't.
What is the problem? The technology, the skill, or
the skill? I mean, I was just telling you about a simple thing that we don't have people that fix machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
That's a school thing.
Yeah. Remember, you get this person, it's just like any technical skill.
Sure.
Like when you become
a
fitter, a turner, you know.
Machine technician.
Yes. You have to be an understudy of somebody who knows these things.
Okay.
And for many years.
Sure.
Yes. Until that person, you know, can teach you everything.
Sure.
Yes.
And then can endorse Wuti. I think this person can now.
Do you understand? And then you can also teach the others.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a challenge. Most of these guys, they'll say, no, I've got a brand, I'm doing this. And sometimes I wish I can just tell them that, guys, start with the basics.
Sure.
Yes. You know, you need to start with the basics first.
What are the basics?
You know, get a smaller machine.
Okay.
You know, there are guys that are doing formal shoes.
Sure.
Right? Those shoes, you won't duplicate them. No.
Yeah.
You know, he'll buy an industrial machine, a small one, and he'll make, you know, specific shoes.
Yeah.
Yes. But remember, these guys want mass production.
Of course.
And you'll find most of them, they don't even have the capacity.
Yeah.
Yes. They rely on someone else to borrow them money, to be able to give it to someone else to manufacture, things like that. So start with something that you can be able to manage.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, the mass production game is very difficult, and it's one that I learned in entrepreneurship, especially when you're starting. Rather focus on a niche market where you price high per client than try and go mass, because you're competing with legacy businesses, wholesalers, people with deep pockets. You may not even know where they come from. And at times you're also competing with mafias who can hurt you in various ways, versus your 20 clients who get their boutique suit or what, and each one is spending 5,000 on you. 5,000 times 20 people every 2 months. You can get by, and then you can try and see if you can scale Nyan or whatever over time.
But unfortunately, a lot of them, they don't want to go through that route.
Yeah.
You know, they want to start with big numbers, and big numbers have got their own frustration. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. certain things I wouldn't even get involved.
Sure.
Because I know I'm going to bend my fingers.
Sure.
And the trouble is, whenever I do anything, I want to get involved.
Sure. I hear you.
You know,
Sure.
I don't want to be told,
you like being in control.
You like and then I must be part of that value chain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I must be part of that value chain. Okay, it's fine. If in so
sure.
Let me do this
sure.
part to make sure that I add value into that product.
Sure.
Yes.
You're not comfortable telling us numbers in terms of how much the business makes and
no,
how many uniforms you make per year?
No, we make enough uniform to try other things.
What other things?
Like business, to buy machines. Remember, the problem with the uniform business, it's just evolving every year.
What does that mean?
You get new technology. Like most of the schools now, they go to sublimation.
Okay.
So if you don't have that technology, it means you have to depend on someone.
Yeah.
And that person is easy to, to take that business somewhere else.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's a good business. It's just that if we can get support from government, it will even be much better.
What's the problem? So we've mentioned the IDC, Department of Trade and Industry, PIC and others. What's the support that entrepreneurs like you, I mean, we're speaking black, tick, we're speaking manufacturing, tick, and it's arguably even sexy. You're doing school uniform. That's something that everyone can be like, hey, my child wears this. What type of support do people like you? Because I mean, at some point there was 100 black industrialist program, I think under Uzuma. I don't know what happened to that. And I would have thought that people like yourself would be at the forefront of, we're going to take Clifton and we're going to turn him into the Elon Musk, or I think from a clothing, it's Amancio Ortega, who's one of the biggest, if not the wealthiest textiles guy in the world. We're going to turn you into the Aliko Dangote, Amancio Ortega of textiles on the African continent. People will talk about you everywhere in the world. Dollar billionaire, I manufacture these things, I create these jobs, and what type of support would you want to see?
Machinery. Machine to do these things are very expensive. The machine that it used to be 100,000, let's say 10 years ago, today is 500,000-600,000. So you grow the business, you need to get machinery. It's impossible.
Okay.
But if like institution like, let's say, the small business development department can be able to to cushion those processes for us, to make it easier, let's say for manufacturers to get equipment, yes, to have different programs, so that when you go to IDC, they don't ask you a pile of documents that you don't even have. Yes.
Do you
because if I can get, let's say, 20 machines, knitting machines, I can tell you, I can put 200 students there that can learn how to knit.
Do you believe in there's rumors? There've been rumors. Do you believe Do you believe the rumors that certain government officials are funded by, whether we'll say it's the Chinese or could be the Taiwanese here or Indians here, to be like, leave the space alone. Don't subsidize, don't teach, don't empower anyone. We're fine. And just like in Mafia, we'll give you a little bit of money to just make sure don't disrupt this thing. We'll keep importing a container. Don't worry about things like VAT and those things. We'll just keep dumping these things. Sometimes even the counterfeits. How did this counterfeit? We had Kaspanov as t-shirts at some point. How are they selling those things at China City? Who
and
lets
those
these
guys,
things
they
through?
sell them openly. How do they get exemptions at the harbors? Because sometimes I've got a container of yarn from Turkey. You get so much problems.
Yeah.
And then it's just yarn inside.
Sure.
But
and you're doing things the right way.
Yeah, but the guy that brings fakes
seems to not have a problem. How did they get in here?
That's the challenge. So I cannot say, yes, somebody's funding who somewhere, Yeah, because I don't have proof of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
it's hard,
You're passionate about youth development, and one of the things you and I have spoken about is your willingness to want to share your knowledge, your skills, and more particularly to be like, listen, I manufacture school uniform. If you come from a small town somewhere, if you have access to certain schools, I don't want to supply them. I want you to be that person, and I'll supply you.
That's what
best price. You'll make your own money, and you'll become the go-to person there.
Before COVID,
yeah,
we had social development. It has close to 200-300 cooperatives that were sewing school uniform for various townships. Most of the cooperatives that were doing jerseys, I was doing panels for them.
Okay. This is under the Department of Social Development?
Yes. Okay. I was doing the patterns for them to make it easier for them.
Sure.
Yes. Not make a complete garment, but sew the material.
Yeah.
So that they can cut it themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and make the garment that they want to make.
Sure.
So it's my passion to take someone who doesn't have an idea.
Yeah.
You know, someone who doesn't have anyone that can help him or her.
Yeah.
You know, and bring them into the space.
Yeah.
Yes. I help them a lot.
Sure.
It's just that a lot of them, they get discouraged.
Why?
They don't have money. Because remember, these things, you have to buy them.
Sure.
And sell.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll find the person is willing. You know, sometimes you'll give him stock.
Yeah.
But only to find out with experience as well. He doesn't come back with the money. You know, somebody also a bag.
Yeah.
He goes to KZN.
Yeah.
A stoge, a boye, bamkutuze. What do you do? The demand is big for schoolwear, and you'll never ever get it right. Because each and every year, kids are just piling at schools.
I know it's your business, and it's your bread and butter. The idea of scrapping school uniform for kids. I know some schools. There was a school that my kids went to, and I appreciate it very much because it was one of the things I was passionate about. Practical schools for primary kids, school kids.
Yeah.
The school went with dark colors, which I thought was nice. They went for golf shirts, especially those ones that don't need to be ironed. They allowed the kids to wear shorts, and they allowed the kids to wear any type of black shoe, sneaker, what. They weren't strict on formal shoes, a white shirt, and those things.
Yeah.
So that's the evolution of school uniform and making it practical, which I appreciate. The idea of scrapping school uniform, outside now of business, of your business, philosophically, what do you think about that for our country, especially considering that people don't have money and those things?
It needs to come with a lot of discipline. Yes. Remember, the more people or children are going to wear whatever they want, the discipline is going to be a problem.
Okay.
Yes. There is no way that you can discipline those kids.
It's better for them to all wear the same thing and not compete, and this one is wearing this thing.
You know, a lot of them are going to come with branded clothing.
Yeah.
You know, and that is going to cause trouble.
Yeah.
Because you'll find this one stole my what shoes, you know.
Yeah.
So to avoid that, everybody must wear
the uniform.
And you must understand one thing. Sometimes, yes, people will tell you that uniform is expensive.
The problem is that it's become expensive.
Yeah, but remember, there's someone who's going to tell you that wearing a teki that is 20,000 and he only wears it once a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true.
School uniform is like PPE for the kids.
But school uniform has become expensive.
No.
You don't believe so?
No.
Because even this conversation of moving away from school uniform, it's people looking at a golf shirt versus a golf shirt that they wear at school. Same thing, but this one is embroidered with the badge, and all of a sudden it's very expensive.
School uniform is not expensive. Remember, you wear those things Monday to Friday.
Okay.
When you look at them, they look the same.
Sure.
But they're not the same.
Okay.
You know, because the quality is not the same.
Okay.
Yes. It's like PPE.
Sure.
Somebody who takes an overall every day.
Sure.
How do you say PPE is expensive?
Because it's durable.
Yes.
Okay.
So schoolwear, you wear it Monday to Friday without fail. but you want to pay nothing. You've got a designer clothes that is sitting in your
wardrobe, your cupboard.
Yes. You only wear it once when there's a wedding.
Sure.
And you are happy with that.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like schoolwear is expensive.
I'm happy to close off the schoolwear discussion, unless if you want to add anything else. I wanted you to finish the property chain, because we left that one at 30 flips somewhere.
Okay, that's fine.
You don't want to add anything else to the schoolwear? Anything you want to share? Any thoughts?
No, look, with the schoolwear, I think maybe we just have to have too many people trying that business.
Yeah.
More especially, I mean, you can't get to a township like Soweto only to find there's only 2-3 suppliers, and then those 2-3 suppliers, it's not, people that are living in Soweto, it's just, it's a pain.
I hear you.
I think as Black people, we need to start doing things for ourselves.
Sure.
And then we need to stop undermining certain sectors of the economy, because that is when we get nailed.
True. True.
We can't be a society where things are done for us. Everything is done for us. We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And each and every family needs to have a hustle.
I agree.
Yes, each and every family must have a hustle.
I agree.
You don't have to depend on a pay slip, because when that pay slip disappears, I mean, if we go back in the days, each and every household used to have inality, nicotine.
Correct. We grew up with that. Yeah?
So why can't we go back? Why can't we say each and every family needs to have a sewing machine?
Sewing machine, a toolbox.
A toolbox.
It's the very basics.
Basic stuff.
Yeah.
A straight machine.
Yeah.
Which is about 4,000 rands. So we need to have those basic skills. Because if a small cut, you must send it to someone else to do it for you and charge you, then we've got a problem.
Probably not a South African as well. Not to say there's anything wrong with them, but the fact is, like, we're not even keeping money.
So we just need to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we need to do something. We need to realize that we are an economy team.
Yeah.
I mean,
correct.
Most of the schools, you'll find the ratio. Abantwana abamnyama baningi.
Correct.
Understand? But what are we doing? We're not even selling stationery.
Yeah, that's another big one. You're not in that space. In stationery.
Yes.
Hey.
So
you're also in stationery.
Yes.
And school shoes.
No, man,
and textbooks. And building schools. I work Cliffton. Sorry, no.
Let me tell
you're also in stationery.
Let me tell you one thing, Puti.
Yeah.
When you get involved in business, you become too many things at a go. And then you have to know everything.
Yeah.
More especially pertaining your business.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're not going to last.
Sure.
You need to have a little bit of accounting. You need to have a little bit of computer literacy. You need to have a little bit of marketing.
Lots of marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your attitude must be right.
Yeah.
So that people can open up when they're with you.
Yeah.
Understand? You see, if accounting, you don't understand anything, people are going to drop you in the middle of nonsense. There's 4 things that will finish you in accounting if you don't understand. VAT.
I'm laughing because a close friend of mine complains about it every week.
Yeah, VAT. Pay as you earn. Provisional tax.
Come on.
Provisional tax. Ukhohliwe ngaleso sikhathi. Understand?
Yeah.
And proper systems. Because those are your tools. Those are your controls that are going to tell you, Gucci, are you going or what?
Sure. Are you going forward or going backwards?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Understand?
Yeah.
So that is the accounting part. You must be able to read financial statements. Have the basic knowledge.
You're asking for a lot of people.
You know,
I know you're highly skilled in that space. Reading financial statements.
Yes.
It's something we should be teaching children at primary.
Exactly.
What is this income statement? What's that balance sheet? What's this cash flow statement? What's that? Is this company making money? No. Yes. How do you know? Because the sales minus.
Everything today is controlled by software. So you have to be computer literate. Because if you're not computer literate, I'm going to change battery through a mouse and charge you 5,000 and you'll pay for it because you don't know what's wrong.
It's a fact.
You know?
It's a fact.
So
I think people still charge other people to draft them a CV.
Yeah, because you can't do it. Yes. So you need to be skilled in many things.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you need to have an understanding of a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, what happens when you buy a property? What is involved?
Yeah.
You know, so that you'll avoid paying wrong people, wrong deposit.
Correct.
And tomorrow claiming people have stolen money from me. You need to understand a lot of things when you're in business, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why you're asking me now, Uti, why all these things? These things are not a problem because everything's controlled by software.
Dope.
You know, you get into the computer, you have Windeed, it gives you everything.
Sure.
You know, it will tell me this property is owned by you. You bought it when? You bought it for how much? You know, how much you made. You know, everything is software these days. So
that IT background has served you well.
Let me tell you one thing. It's still saving me now.
Yeah.
You know, because the understanding, it's better.
IT, studying accounting or basic financial.
Yes. Because you need those things. You need
marketing. A lot of kids study marketing, but they don't know how to use it. Sorry, it's a very important space.
Yes. So if you don't understand those things, there's no business that you'll be able to run.
Yeah.
Because it means when a young into you'll be depending on people.
Correct. I think I've tried to explain this to someone that one of the things that the education system has gotten right is they've pushed us away from educating ourselves on many disciplines so that we have to pay for all of them. No idea of anything legal, so I have to pay a lawyer. No idea of any tax, so I have to pay a tax person. No idea of anything to do with money. If it's fail, I must pay an accountant.
Exactly.
No idea of anything to do with. Always have to pay. I wasn't seizing Anyako with grade 5 maths. You have to pay a tutor. When you've got no skill besides but just panini, and then I submit and then I get paid.
Yes.
But then you have to pay everyone else because you refuse to learn that knowledge. Even things like healthcare. Just a basic understanding of general health. So that you're like, no, even when I go to the doctor, when he says this, I must be like, yeah, but the side effects of this thing, chief. And no, I'm not coming here with this. I don't have that symptom. I've got this one. Please look into these things.
Some refuse treatment.
And people don't even know that they can do that. Pelangiti, the doctor is God. They don't know that they can say, no, I don't want. The doctor can't force you to take medication or undertake surgery you don't want.
Oh, okay. Another thing. I work part-time at the hospital.
Aye, man. Who's this guy now? Upendube, you Dr. Malinga?
No.
At the...
I'm just helping.
Helping what?
I'm a board member.
At a hospital?
Yes.
Oh, you can't mention the hospital?
No, it's fine. Let's not mention. Yes.
You're a board member at a hospital?
Yes.
You oversee governance?
Issues, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the cool things Vusi Tembekwayo said in one of it. Was it Vusi Tembekwayo? I think it was Vusi Tembekwayo. He was speaking about the executive and he was speaking about the board. Well, the executive being the people that are operationally involved in running a company, and the board of directors that people normally want to sit on a board, that they just do oversight and governance and sometimes strategy, sometimes, but governance. We're just making sure that there's compliance and those things. Yeah. I don't know what's happening there and the money. Yes, I'll read the financial statements like you, but we just need to make sure that things are being done right.
Yeah, but sometimes, you'll find they'll also need you down there.
Sure.
Assist with certain things.
No, but if you have skills like yourself, some board members unfortunately can't do anything down there, and people don't know that.
That's the problem.
There was a time when Ubabuenu, our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, sat on 18 boards at once, which I don't even know if King and those governance structures today allow for things like that. It doesn't make any type of sense.
Well, I ask myself, for a guy that sits on 5 boards, when does he read those packs? Your own personal stuff.
And spend time with your kids and what. Anyways.
So yeah. So if you don't
stationery.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, stationery is easy. Because obviously a lot of schools now, they'll give you a list of grade 8, this is what I need. Grade 7, this is what I need. So yeah, you just go to the supplier, put it together under one bag, and put it back there. Whoever's interested will buy. If somebody feels that I'll go to what and what, buy pencil there, it's also okay.
Sure.
I'll be waiting for you. Because the petrol that you're going to spend looking for those things.
Textbooks?
No, textbooks I don't do. What I'm busy doing now, I've got guys that are doing workbooks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes.
That are creating them.
Yes, they're creating workbooks.
This is important because maybe people won't understand. So the most popular ones that I remember from school, Physichem, I think for science.
Yeah.
Pythagoras for maths.
Mm-hmm.
I think we also had study and master.
Yes.
So by workbook, you're talking, we study in class and you guys want to create these books where they have questions.
Yes.
So kids can practice.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yes. No, yeah. I've got guys that are just out of this world.
Yeah.
Yes. And they've already, supplied a lot of schools with those.
What do you think changed between you being, I don't know if you were joking, what do you think changed between you being an E-student and you becoming someone now who's very passionate about knowledge and acquiring information and questioning everything?
Remember, each and every person, I think, is mixed. You might find somebody who loves education, but is not good at school. But
please say that again slowly. You might find someone who loves
education,
but
he's not good at schooling.
Is that not the same thing?
Understand? It's more or less the same thing.
Okay.
Somebody that loves education,
but
the performance at class it's not good.
Uthanda ukufunda.
Yes.
But you're not good at scoring marks. So that you get a
you're
good
not
percentage.
scoring marks.
But you love education.
Yes, like me, I was not scoring marks.
But you loved education even then.
Yes, you understand? Because even if when I was doing matric, I arranged for my class to have winter classes. So I spoke to other teachers from other villages who came, come and help us.
Sure.
And they came.
Okay.
But yes.
This is important. I'm so passionate about this education versus school argument because I've got issues with schools, by the way, but I love education. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, when you criticize schools, they think, but what about education? I'm like, I love education. That's actually why I'm criticizing.
Yeah.
You find children who struggle at scoring marks because the schooling system is all about scoring marks. Mm-hmm. But when you look at their ability to learn how to fix a cell phone, learn how to code, a child in grade 10 can read a financial statement. They've mastered all of a combination of a TV game. That's someone who's willing to learn.
Yes.
But clearly, there's a disconnect here in terms of this thing here and how they score marks.
Because remember, you can score good marks.
Yeah.
And get far in terms of degrees and everything.
Yeah.
But Otologuchi, you're not someone who can work with people.
Yes.
Your attitude.
Yeah.
It's difficult to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the challenges. So yeah, we've got guys like that.
Sure.
So school alone, it's not enough. Yes, some people are going to be lucky because they went to school, they'll get nice jobs and get good perks.
Sure.
But it's not going to be everybody.
Yeah. Why were you never satisfied? Why are you never satisfied? Why was it not enough to get a job at Telkom, JRA? Now you've got a school, uniform business. You're like, you know what? I've arrived. I'm enough now.
I still feel there's a lot of opportunities. And remember, when I had a job with Telkom, I couldn't hire anybody.
Yeah.
I couldn't create employment for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I've got so much authority. I can pick up a guy who doesn't even have matric.
Sure.
And say, come here. I want to develop you.
I can change your life.
I mean, there are guys that work with me. Yes. That I've picked up from the very, very, very bad background.
Yeah.
To say, come, let's work. I might not be able to give you that salary.
Sure.
You know, but one thing that I can tell you that I'm going to give you a skill. Yes.
What you do with the skill, Baba?
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
You know, if you play with it, there's nothing I can do. One thing that I can do is I can give you a skill.
Sure.
Yes. That can help you for the rest of your life.
Thank you, Clifton. Let's finish off the property story.
Okay.
So you went from flipping 30 properties in a small time. Let's go back to maybe 2005.
Yeah.
From 2005 to now, do you have any idea of how many properties you flipped or an estimate? And are you still in that space?
Yeah. I still buy.
Any idea of how many estimate you flipped in that time?
Maybe around 150, 200.
150 properties.
Yes, but remember, properties are not the same.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. I bought a property in town, in city of Joburg.
Yeah.
It's a commercial property.
Okay.
Immediately I bought that property. The guy next door opened a tavern.
Okay.
So whatever that I want to do on my property, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I had to sell it quickly so that I get out of the transaction.
Okay.
Yes. So not all properties will give you the same amount of money.
Yeah.
You lose on some,
Yeah.
you make money on some.
Okay.
Yes. That is the trouble with properties.
Sure.
And sometimes you can buy a good property,
Yeah.
right? But people can run it down,
Correct.
you know. So there's a whole lot of possibilities.
You still enjoy it though?
Yeah.
Any other business ventures that you would want to mention, talk about, maybe you can learn from quickly?
No, not now. I mean, it's only the sublimation business that I'm building now.
I know there's one thing you do, and I apologize for raising it without asking prior. You trade.
A lot.
Why are you laughing?
It's my hobby. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what is offside in football. So, yeah.
You trade?
Yeah, buy. Yeah.
Stocks?
Yeah.
Why do you trade stocks, and what has it done for you?
Well, I think maybe I just got an opportunity to buy certain stocks at the right time. I mean, you remember when COVID came in, I mean, the Sasol share was 20 rands. I mean, from 480.
Sure.
I mean, even if you're blind, I mean, you couldn't see that Sasol will never go down.
Okay.
You know, that is when they had that challenge with like Charles, whatever. Yes. So, yeah.
You bought Sasol at 20?
It was 20 rand.
You bought?
Time. Yeah.
Did you sell?
Now you start.
No, we don't have to go into details. Did you sell or did you hold?
No, I sold. But I went back again.
You sold
because I wanted my money.
You sold it at price?
Yeah, no, I sold
the
it
first
very.
time?
No, I sold it very good. But I had to go back.
No, just give a price. We're not asking how many shares.
No.
You bought it 20 and sold the first time.
Look, there were a lot of shares. There were a lot of companies that were not doing well. I mean, AMS was not doing well.
When you bought Sasol at 20 and you sold it the first time, at what price did you sell it?
It was about 100 rand.
5 times.
Well, a lot of shares were down and people were worried. You could say, you
weren't worried?
I was. But remember, I mean, I had to buy.
You trade stocks the way some people bet on sports.
Yeah.
Because you have a passion for studying the business environments, the economy.
Yes.
You have a feel for what's going to happen, what's coming, and it's kind of been working for you.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I've got this lack of being at the right place at the right time. I mean,
it's luck.
You see,
is it luck?
I don't know what to call it. You know, but
but you study the market?
Yeah, well, I study the company.
Sure.
Again, to say no, man, there's no way that this company can go down. Never.
Sure.
You know, and look, the companies that I bet on, unfortunately, I get something out of them.
Unfortunately.
You know, I get something out of them. Some people are screaming, saying, hey, you know. So, yeah, but remember, I don't do this thing like gambling.
Sure.
You know, sometimes I buy and forget.
Okay.
You know.
What do you mean by forget? You intentionally buy for the long term?
Yeah, just park it there for a year to 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
You've
And
made
do other
decent money
things.
from trading.
Yeah.
Good money.
Not really good money. Few bucks. You know? So yeah, property is easy because if you've got
You can't say that though. Okay, but
let me tell you one thing. The problem with people who saying property this, this thing you need to start small. Each and everything that you start small. You can't want to own a building of 10 million if you've never owned a house of 200,000.
Sure.
Obviously the experience as well.
Sure.
The whole conveyancing exercise.
Yeah.
What happens when you buy a property? What is it that you need to look for? What is the tax clearance?
Yeah.
What is the compliance certificate?
Yeah.
It's those things that you'll never find in textbooks.
Correct.
So
You have to get your hands
once
dirty.
and once you understand those things, life becomes easier. I mean, I was buying properties in Malamulela. I'll buy a property that I've never even seen, just in the pictures. Yes.
And flip it?
Yes.
Without ever having seen it?
Yes, because it's too far.
But the numbers made
But
sense.
I'll ask somebody, hey man, go and check that house.
Sure.
Maybe it's an empty ground and I'm not aware. Things happen.
Yeah.
But remember, in everything that you're doing, don't try and fast track things and feel that I want to make 200% profit today and be rich.
Sure.
No. You need to take it step by step.
Sure.
Yes. So that it doesn't give you challenges.
Yeah.
Yes. But if you want to get rich quicker, it's another stress.
Sure.
Yes.
You're very passionate about your kids being involved in what you do.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I appreciate. I'm raising this because you mentioned earlier that some of the older legacy business owners, the millers and the like, a lot of their kids maybe were not interested. And you've made sure that your kids are involved in what you do. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because it becomes a good lesson for many of us as well, those with children, to be like, look, whatever you're doing, and it doesn't have to be a successful business like yours. It can be a small thing. Look, when the light is coming back from school, we see it from the Indians. It's one of the things we admire from the Indians. Let the child come work cash, italy, just deal with client management, things they won't learn in the textbook again. When they sit in class and the teacher says, if you smile at the customer, it's like, ma'am, no, not always. What do you mean? It says in the book, no. We were smiling at the customer, but so obviously a car, and you're like, okay, those are things you can only know. Firing, hiring people, dealing with stock, theft, and those things. So thank you.
And a lot of customers will also teach your kids a lot of things.
Correct. And suppliers. Some friends of mine, their fathers would put them in business, and they'd have to liaise with suppliers, and they'd school them as well.
Yeah, I mean, my 11-year-old now.
Yeah.
She was the one that was picking telephone calls in December when we were busy.
That's proper.
Yeah.
That's proper.
What are you looking for?
I was going to say 11 is young, but I've got a 10-year-old with a big mouth, so...
No, so things like that. And remember, a lot of clients teach them a lot of things.
Yes.
And it's something that you'll never find in a textbook.
Sure. Sure.
So, and sometimes, making your kids to be aware, how much effort are you putting to make sure that everybody survives?
Yeah.
Not only them.
Yeah.
The people that work for you.
Yes.
The charities that you donate to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very much important.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So that they don't become selfish.
Of course. I was spending time with my firstborn son, he's 13, and his sister, she's 10. And one of the things I was emphasizing to him is every time you ask me for something, because they're currently based abroad, understand that whatever you're asking for has a cost, and understand that I'm giving you a piece of my life.
Yeah.
I work very hard for this money, and if you're asking for, let's say, water, and that water costs 100 Rand, and I'm telling you, I make 100 Rand, let's say, in a day. I made it in the past, but please know that I'm giving you a day of my life.
Yes.
So I need you to appreciate it, because my father just gave me a day of his life.
Yes.
And some of those lessons you can only learn by being involved and being on the ground. Quick mention of one of the hobbies you and your son have. Yes, no, another day.
Biking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that your phone vibrating? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, biking.
Mountain biking.
No. Just normal biking.
What's normal biking?
Normal bikes.
What's a normal bike?
On-road bikes. On-road.
Are those things not expensive?
Look, everything is expensive in life. I mean, food is expensive. I mean, everything is expensive.
What does that mean? Everything is expensive.
What is it that is not expensive?
Except, Baba, I've seen your bike.
You've been complaining about school wear, yeah. You're saying it's expensive. I mean, remember, everything is expensive. I mean, people go to Dubai.
I've seen your bike.
People go to Dubai every 3 months.
You can't tell me what Dubai in school uniform.
I've never been to Dubai.
By choice.
No, I need money.
For what?
You know,
I've seen your bike.
Tell one of your buddies to sponsor me. So yeah, I mean, you can't be a man not have a hobby.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
That will be too frustrating.
Okay.
Yes. Otherwise, you'll take everything too personal.
Sure.
Yes. So you need to have something that you know what, this is something that I can enjoy.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And biking, is that for you?
Yeah,
you and your son ride. You're part of a club.
Yeah. It's 13 years now. I've been riding and I enjoy it. Yeah, you know.
I once met. Did I meet or was someone telling me the story? I think someone was telling me the story of Ferrari owners.
Yeah.
And how it's an exclusive club, and apparently whenever they see each other, Ferrari owners, they stop, and they greet each other and they make it a point to figure out what do you do for a living. And that becomes somewhat of a networking tool.
Yeah.
I can imagine if our kids go to the same expensive school to be the same. There's a lot of black people I've been meeting that love biking. Is biking something like that, where you can't just get in unless you're at a certain maybe class, or you have a certain interest, or you have a certain mindset, which I know if you're a biker, you're a risk taker. I know if you're a biker, you like adventure. I know if you're a biker, you're a hustler of sorts. So when I meet you, I'm like, hey, you ride? No, I ride. Hey, Donna, what do you, I'd like to get to know you. Just by saying I'm a biker. Is it something like that?
Yeah, no, it's easy to get into biking.
Okay.
You just have to love the sport.
Okay.
Yes, it's not complicated. I mean, even if you don't have a bike.
Even if you don't have a bike?
Yes. I mean, you can come to bike events, bike charities, just to see what is happening and maybe see if it's something that you can fit in. So yeah, it's a very interesting sport as well. But yeah, I ride with him. You know, sometimes I take the whole family.
That's dope.
Yes.
Clifton, thank you so much. I was going to ask you, who are you voting for? But you might be compromised.
A lot.
Compromised?
No, it's fine. Let's leave it. Let's leave it.
I don't know if you have anything to add before we close this session.
No, I mean, all what I can say is that I wish we can find a way to motivate our youth.
Yeah.
To bring better understanding to them.
Yeah.
Because remember, you become youth once. Life is not something that you can play with.
Yeah.
More especially with drugs.
Correct.
And if you can't fix your life between 18 and 35, you might have a problem. Because remember, that age gap is the age gap that you need to make a lot of things happen.
It's your highest energy.
Yes.
Gap. It's when you have the highest energy.
Once you lose that energy.
And you haven't built anything.
Just know that,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And then, so I just wish we can do something. We can make things to be a lot more easier in terms of information.
Yeah.
People need to find information very easy and use it.
Yeah.
People mustn't just sit and complain about everything.
Correct.
There's nobody who's going to bring you a good life.
Yeah.
You need to go and fight for it.
Yeah.
Yes. And if we can do that, I think all of us will have a decent or better life. Yes. And
Cliffton Mmako. I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to know your story. I'm honored to have met your family. And I'm highly, highly inspired and motivated by your hustles, your constant dedication to learning and information and curiosity. And I know we didn't touch on it, but my knowledge of your insane work ethic. I believe you're a workaholic. I'm glad that at least you bike every now and then. But I'd like to thank you for taking time out to come and share with us and coming to the Penuel show.
No, thank you very much, Pen. It has been a long time.
Yeah.
Since we've been planning this, but thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. Katamba for it. Yeah, no, yeah.